Welcome to the Business Transition Summit podcast, where we deep dive into the stories and strategies of the renowned speakers that will be featured at the Business Transition Summit. We'll be investigating how you can be part of the 17% of business owners who successfully navigate their path to dream exits. Get ready to be inspired, informed, and equipped as we kick off this transformative journey. And be sure to attend the Business Transition Summit for exponentially more information. It's time for you to join the 17% Club and make your dream exit a reality. I'm Tom Bronson, CEO and founder of Business Transition Summit. I'm part of the 17% Club myself, and happy to be joined today by Scott Couchenour, founder of Serving Strong Enterprises. Hello, Scott. We are excited to be talking with you today and really excited to hear about your talk at the Business Transition Summit. So great to be with you today.
Tom, it's a pleasure to be with you. You are always very inspiring when we get together and talk. And I'm really eager to meet the tremendous people who will participate at the summit.
It's going to be a blast. It really is. In fact, I think that we've got the final schedule. You're going to be our first keynote in the morning. And so we're going to get everybody kicked off really strong with the things that we're going to talk about right now. So now we know each other and have gotten to know each other over the last year or so. But please introduce yourself for our listeners.
Sure. I'm a fourth quarter coach. I work with business owners to design and execute a personal strategic plan for life after their exit, a life that maximizes their freedom and at the same time puts a cap on regret. Now, fourth quarter, I define as late 50s, early 60s, and beyond.
Yeah, that would be me.
And me.
That's right. Brand new member of the 60s Club, right? So
that's right. You beat me, by the way. You're my elder on this call.
Wow. Well, honestly, clearly you have not been rode as hard as I have been. I mean, so everyone associated with the Business Transition Summit has a real passion for helping business owners. And I know that you do too. Why are you involved in this effort?
Absolutely. I'm involved because I'm convinced that business owners are poised like no other people to make the world a tremendous place and have a blast in the process. Like I said, the fourth quarter of life, this is where the magic happens. It's when a business owner's time is freer, resources are at their peak, and there's a sensitivity to what I call MLP, which stands for their meaning, their legacy, and their purpose. This awakening to the weeks lived versus the weeks left. Now, I'm going to turn 59 the month of this recording, right? So that makes me just a little younger than you. That means that based on the average life expectancy, I have lived 75% of my life, which leaves 25% for me to make the greatest impact on my family and on my world. Now, you take a successful business owner who has worked with you to effectively transition their business on their terms, with all that time freed up and all those resources available, and has the awakening of their MLP, they're an unstoppable force for good. And that's what I love to be a part of.
That is so awesome. I can't wait to hear you talk. 75%, according to life expectancy. I'm hoping that mine is only 60%.
That's the goal.
But, here's the funny thing, because even though we're only roughly a year apart in age, I'm the last of the baby boomers, and you're the next generation, right?
I'm a Gen Xer. That's correct.
Yes,
I'm actually in that gray zone where I could be called a baby boomer or Gen X, and obviously I choose Gen X.
Well, I choose baby boomer. As I tell my kids, baby boomers are the guys that really, really like to work. And we invented the 60-hour work week. I tell my kids always, you're welcome. So from your perspective and experience, what do you think are some of the universal challenges that business owners often face when it comes to planning for that business transition or exit, especially in the field that you're in, that fourth quarter coach? What do you think are some of those universal challenges that they face?
Well, I can draw from my own experience. Okay. I think there are three. I think, and I would refer to them as identity, release, and default. Let me explain what I mean. Regarding identity, many have over time attached their identity to their vocation or their career. This is what I did. And when I lost my career at age 50, I went into crisis mode because the career that I attached my identity to was gone. And who am I? That was the prevailing question when I wrestled around in this fog. Who am I? But the fact is, what I've discovered in my journey is the career is an expression of our identity. It's not the identity itself. But see, that's a challenge. When we're talking about an exit, we're talking about letting go of something we've known for so long, which leads to the second thing, and that's release. Letting go is a natural part of life, and we get that, right? We let go of our teen years when we graduated. We let go of our children when they went off to live on their own. Life is a series of letting go. But the trouble is, I think we business owners underestimate the power of the release upon exit, because we've spent decades with this business, decades with this family of employees and managers, and we just underestimate that. That's a real challenge. And then the third is just, I call it default. We think we know what we're going to do once we transition or exit. We're done with all this planning and strategy and we think that planning will actually restrict and constrain what we want to do in our free life after exit. But the truth is, and it's been proven through the lives of my clients, just enough of an iterative personal strategic plan is the key to greater freedom and less regret. I see it happening. In fact, I just text with a client today who is in, I don't know, some tropical place on a sailboat with a friend, that he gets to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. That's real wealth. That's real freedom. And there's a very distinct difference between living life by default and living by design. So I think we wrestle with identity. I think we wrestle with the letting go process, and we wrestle with this idea that I don't want, don't constrict me. I don't want to plan. But I think now is the time to live by design, not by default.
I love that. We say the same thing about exit strategy, because every business on the planet will eventually transition. Some of them by design, and some of them by default. Something happens, somebody gets ill, somebody dies, and we agree. We are perfectly aligned with you in that no matter what it is in life, whether it's the living of your life or whether it's the exiting of your business or financial planning for the future, it's so much better to plan in advance and really be intentional and think about that stuff. I just love that whole philosophy. So can you give us a little bit of what you're going to be talking about at the summit, other than those things, and why it's important the business owner should attend this and pay attention to your message?
Yeah. So I'm going to be talking about what is called fourth quarter failure. We all have our favorite football team, right? So
you're coming to Dallas, and it was a bad weekend. So.
Well, hey, I come from Browns country.
Oh, well, yeah. You know the pain, right?
I do know the pain. So it's the possibility of living a successful life and then having it unravel in the remaining decades, which is a very real possibility. Like that football team that dominates its opponent for most of the game and then fumbles and falls apart when it matters the most, right? When that happens, it doesn't matter the fantastic catch, the immaculate reception, the incredible plays. A loss is a loss, and who do they go to interview? They go to interview the winner, not the loser. Right. I'm here to keep that from happening. I want to discuss what does it mean to avoid fourth quarter failure. And that's what I'll be addressing, along with a practical step-by-step actionable plan every participant can walk away with. I've been to conferences before, and it's been a lot of fire hose with a lot of great information. I am speaking with an eye toward the valley after you've left the mountaintop. What are you going to do when you get back? Well, first of all, you're going to deal with a lot of email, a lot of stuff that took place while you were gone because you invested in this moment in time. But I want to give something that that the participants can walk away with and actually employ from day one. This plan is going to include how to finish strong from 6 perspectives. I call these 6 hallmarks of a fantastic fourth quarter, and they are spiritually anchored, being physically fit, relationally rich, emotionally healthy, vocationally aligned, and financially free. That becomes
I've got at least 4 of those. Come on.
Good for you. Good for you. And see, the fourth quarter failure is I'm great at 4, but I fall on my face with 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And life is holistic. I take a very holistic approach to helping my clients create strategic plans because there's no better way to live, recognizing that for example, when I get good sleep, which is part of my physical fitness, it affects my emotions, which then affects my relationships, and it affects my finances. Everything that we do has some impact on 1 or more of the 6 hallmarks.
Yeah.
That's all I'll be talking about.
Well, and you already know this story because I've shared it with you, but I'll share it with our listeners as well. My dad sold his business at 55 and really solved the whole financial freedom question for he and my mother. But he didn't solve many of the other questions. And while he was in reasonably good health at 55, we buried him 3 years later because he was not prepared for that fourth quarter. He totally lost his way. Boy, you talk about the crisis that you lived through when when your career disappeared at age 50. At age 55, even though it was by design and by choice, when he sold his business, he lost his identity. And I can't help but think, Scott, that had we been where we are now, and my dad was just now retiring, and I knew who you are, that we could have helped solve that issue for him. It's sad that he died so young, younger than I am now, and it was largely a result of he didn't want to live anymore, and so which is just a horrible outcome. So if nothing else, business owners should pay heed to really think about what that fourth quarter is going to look like and come to the summit. There are probably some folks listening to this today that are unsure whether or not they want to invest that whole day in coming or the small amount of money that it is. What would you say to those folks who are now unsure about whether or not they should come?
Okay. So if I gave you a briefcase or I showed you a briefcase and I said, this briefcase costs $250, you have 2 options. You can say, that's too much. I don't want to buy it. It's $250 I can go to Office Max or these office store and get one much cheaper. Or you can say, what's inside? Because what's inside could be worth thousands. So what I would say to anybody who is unsure about a conference like what we're talking about and putting together is think one to many. Think return on investment. You understand that. You understand ROI. Cost is the price you pay today. Value is the abundance you reap over a long period of tomorrows from a one-time investment. And the summit requires a single investment of your time and resources that will give you the tools and information to benefit you for years to come. It's like one to many. In fact, what you learn at the summit may just lead you to take steps that will have a lasting impact long after you're gone. One moment in time, one investment, multiple returns.
That's awesome. I love that analogy of the briefcase because, this small investment, once you open up this briefcase, it's going to pay off in a big way. I love that analogy. Scott, always a pleasure to spend some time with you. Thank you for being our guest. We look forward to seeing you at the Business Transition Summit.
I am looking forward to being there. Folks,
you heard it here first. Get your tickets to the Business Transition Summit now at businesstransitionssummit.com and take the necessary steps toward achieving your dream exit. It's time for you to be prepared to join the 17% Club and make your dream exit a reality. Don't miss out on the exclusive opportunity to gain invaluable insights, connect with industry experts, and discover the strategies that really, truly can transform your business. Tickets are limited, so act fast and reserve your spot today. Early bird pricing is now on through the end of February. Scott, thanks for being with us. Great information. And thank you for joining us, business owners, on this episode of the Business Transitions Podcast. Glad you were here, and I hope that you found information both informative and entertaining. You don't want to miss out on future episodes, so hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform. And while you're there, do us a favor and rate this episode, this podcast, and leave a review. It helps us deliver better information and reach more business owners. We look forward to sharing more information with you on how to achieve your dream exit. But for now, go check out our website, businesstransitionssummit.com, to learn more about dream exits. There is a growing resource page there just for business owners like you. And lastly, we look forward to seeing you at the Business Transition Summit on May 7th in Westlake, Texas.
The Business Transition Summit is an opportunity for you to educate yourself, empower your business, and execute relentlessly on your exit strategy. Have you heard this stat before? 83% of business owners fail to successfully transition their business. That means that only 17% ever reach their dream exit from their business. Business owners, we don't want that to be you. We want you at the Business Transition Summit to kickstart or continue your dream exit journey. Join us for an unforgettable experience where industry titans, successful entrepreneurs, and top experts converge to share their wisdom, strategies, and secrets to success on exit strategy. Block your whole day on May 7th, 2024. Get your tickets, transform your business and life forever. Visit businesstransitionssummit.com for more information.